Again, it's the same thing we've been doing. So this is what's good about this process. You start with something simple and you see what the basics are. It's like mortise and tenon. And we could do a mortise and tenon class all semester and just keep doing mortise and tenons with different stuff going on.
So with the dovetail stuff, is that I've seen that a lot in Western stuff. Is that uses all this stuff like from all over, sort of.
All over. Yeah, to me it's just woodworking. What's different about it is kind of the approach and the accuracy in Japanese stuff. I think is always better because you got sharper tools, and they're more concerned with the engineering, which is more based on compression fit joinery, which again is a more precise fit of things. It has a compression on the end grain of the mortise, but when you got a dovetail, that's the weak part of the dovetail, because the compression on the dovetail is against the side grain and short grain on the end of the dovetail. So to me, that's the big fallacy of dovetails, is that they've got all the compression is against the short grain on this part right here, because that's where the tension would be. It's not against the end grain. So So I found when you got a mortise that's bigger than the chisel, it comes out much better if you stagger the cuts. Instead of doing all one side, you got to come back and pare that other side off. You can try it both ways and see what makes it easier. So what I want to do first is get my depth right there.
Cross the bridge to get to it.
So I got to go about a half a boom more. So once I know kind of where I'm going, then it makes it easier. Getting that square in the right depth is where that angle comes from for the other piece to go in there. I'm starting to get it close right there. I got about a half a bow I got to go down. And do is go through. Trying to get the bottom of this mortise level with cutting the grain with the chisel. So I was trying to hit that the same hardness, so I went down the same depth, so I'm getting the bottom of the fibers all cut at that level right there. So once you got the fibers cut, then to get that smooth, I think going across the grain gives you a better flatness than going this way, because you don't pick up okay, that looks good right there. That's a good fit. Now let's see what we got right here. Okay, I got to clean up that corner right there a little bit. Now this thing should slide in there. Now what I'm looking at is that the depth is right to that middle line that I laid out on my dovetail. And it should line up, I think the bottom of the tenon is a square. So this lines up here, so now what I got to do is cut the 3 slot and then taper it, so I got that locked in there. Let me get that out. This is a chisel that our friend Dave made. Diamond, that's his name he gave him. This is a chisel that he made that's a style made for cutting the die out, for making the die up. And he does it the way he does. Man, it's a different kind of steel. I was pretty impressed. Okay, now let's take this out of here.
So it's laminated though?
Yeah, it's laminated. It's just the tempering. He does the tempering. I think the key is that he tempers and laminates things at a much lower temperature, which changes the structure inside there somehow or the other, and it's the old way of doing it instead of heating it up to...
Well, they talked about that.